Over the last 2 years, the Class 4A state championship has run through Hopkins and St. Michael-Albertville. Both Lake Conference schools have claimed the trophy over the last couple of years, and these two wouldn't mind adding another one to their vaunted trophy case. But they have to get through the second round of Lake Conference play on this edition of high school girls basketball. Hopkins at 22-2 takes on St. Michael-Albertville at 19-5. Greetings, everyone. I'm Mike Peden. She's Jodi Rehlander. And Jodi, the Lake Conference historically one of the best, if perhaps the best, in the state of Minnesota when you look at talent top to bottom. Usually there's a group of 5 teams. Any one of them can make it to state. Hopkins and St. Michael-Albertville have defined greatness. Hopkins winning their state title in 2022. St. Michael-Albertville holding off Hopkins last year to get one in their neck of the woods. What do you think that adds to this rivalry?
It's so historic. We're standing here in the gym with banners going back to 1944 and St. Michael-Albertville. Easy for me to say. St. Michael-Albertville coming in with 3 state championships in 3 different classes over the last 20 years. So all this tradition is going to combine, and tonight we're going to get a very good treat.
St. Michael-Albertville, the only school with that distinction. Of course, Hopkins has a multitude of state tournament titles in girls basketball. And a big reason for that, their ability to reload every single year. A lot of folks thought they might take a step back to earth. At 22-2, I'd say that was a little bit of an understatement. In fact, they have not lost to a team in the state of Minnesota this season. A big reason for that, the Florida commit, Liv McGill.
I can't wait to see McGill in action. There's going to be some sparks here on this floor tonight.
And speaking of sparks, St. Michael-Albertville hoping to generate a few. Jacayla Kraft, their top scorer, couldn't play in the first meeting as she was recovering from a dislocated finger. But the Seton Hall commit has put up some amazing numbers this season. A couple of games ago, she posted a career-high 41 points in a win over Eden Prairie, and the growth and evolution of Jacayla Kraft has really helped St. Michael-Albertville make the transition, because much like Hopkins, they had to get through the graduation of one of their top players in Tessa Johnson. Jacayla Kraft and the rest of the STMA crew have kept that ship humming along.
It's almost the end of the regular season. We're about to start the tournaments. Everything's on the line. Going to be a great game tonight.
It will be a great game indeed. We'll be back for the starting lineups. This is high school girls basketball. Twin Cities Sports Broadcasting and a whole lot more. That's what you get from TSB Television. We provide long-lasting digital coverage of your favorite athletes from the preps to the pros. Dazzling moves. Holloman, good if it goes. Yes! Game winners. She's in trouble. Finds James. Toss shot. It goes in. And everything in between. Before we let you go, do you want to say hi to anybody?
Oh, I don't know. Let's put me on the spot there.
If you want to connect with our audience, visit us at patreon.com/TSB Television or sponsor our coverage through PayPal and Cash App. Thank you for watching. And we welcome you once again to the venerable Royals Athletic Center as Hopkins and St. Michael-Albertville are ready for round 2. The first round went to Hopkins 77-53. St. Michael-Albertville joined the Lake Conference 5 years ago. Before that, they always had an annual series with Hopkins, but moving to the Lake meant an upgrade in their regular season schedule, Jodi, and perhaps that played a part in them winning the state championship last year after years in the Mississippi 8 where they dominated the field.
Quite possibly. Great competition makes you play better. As they say, you got to be the best, you got to beat the best.
The lineups are being introduced. Eva Cupido, by the way, is healthy enough to play. She was dealing with the flu, as I understand it, in Thursday's game against Wayzata, although Hopkins did a pretty good job, all things considered. They beat Wayzata 89-62. And a win over St. Michael-Albertville would get them one step closer to the number 1 overall seed. They still have another game with Minnetonka that will likely decide it all. Here are the starters. No changes for Hopkins, so it's Tatum Woodson, Lauren Hilsheim, London Harris, Liv McGill, and Irma Walker. STMA, no changes there either, so it's Kale Junkie, Kaylee Cox, Jakayla Kraft, Ava House, and Abby Hazelton. St. Michael-Albertville will probably get the 1 seed in Section 8. State tournament seeding may depend on who else makes the field. They did have a loss to Benilde St. Margaret's that might hurt them a bit, with Benilde St. Margaret's being a Class 3A team. Of course, they're the defending 3A state champs and expected to potentially repeat. So it's not a terrible loss, but still, I have no idea how seeding will take that into account. But last year, Hopkins won both of the regular season games, and then St. Michael-Albertville, if you recall, had that big first half. Hopkins was struggling from the floor to hit their shots. In the second half, Hopkins made a run, but they ran out of time. They fell 1 point short. Another 30 seconds or so, maybe a different story. But these are the last 2 state champions in Class 4A, and all signs indicate that this year's champion will come from the Lake Conference again. The question is, which team?
And there's a lot of sleepers in that 8-4A, Section 8-4A.
There are some sleepers, yes. Although St. Michael-Albertville, they've handled things quite well. It would take a lot to knock them out in sections, and for Hopkins, you're looking at a 3rd meeting with Wayzata. That is just about a guarantee. As we are underway here at the Royals Athletic Center.
Good ball movement early, always a feature of the STMA offense.
Well, STMA, they've been polished, poised for the last several years with Tessa Johnson leading the way. 7 to shoot. Baseline
Nice
drive,
baseline.
kick out, 3 ball. Oh my goodness!
High bank! Stop it at the bank for the first basket of the night.
From the corner. Do you realize the degree of difficulty?
That is a physics equation right there.
All right, I can see physics teachers now watching this game and using it as part of their lesson plan. I've never seen that before. I've seen corner 3s all the time, but never
a high
off the
banker
window.
like that, right? Yeah.
I don't think they teach you to do that if you're going from the corner. Usually it's from the key when you can go straight on. That was Ava House who scored, by the way.
Great pass, great look.
And that's Liv McGill, who is one of the best when it comes to passing, distributing. She's going to McDonald's All-American game in the spring and is the highest-ranked recruit ever to go to Florida.
Oh,
But
nice
Abby Hazelton
little,
doesn't care about that. She weaves her way in for 2.
Nice little approach shot.
Remember, this is the defending 4A state champions, STMA, Liv McGill. 2 strong. That's Irma Walker to Tatum Woodson, the younger sister of Taylor Woodson, who is playing D1 ball at Michigan. Soon to be joined by Olivia Olson. 8 to shoot for Hopkins. McGill. Pick and roll. Walker can't get the bounce. And STMA has a chance to extend the lead. 3 on the way. That is
Nice
Kraft.
offense.
Jump ball. The arrow favors STMA. We're stationed behind the scores table, so I can't see that indicator light. But Kraft and McGill, best of friends. They played on the same AAU team for the last couple of years, Metro Stars, and I'll share a little more about that friendship as we make our way through. Okay, I guess we can't see the light. They just didn't turn it on. That's a tough baseline drive. Hopkins doing a good job sealing there, but McGill can't corral the rebound. Another chance. Kraft is a sniper from 3-point range, and the Seton Hall Pirate stashes 3 points in her treasure case.
Shades of the state tournament last year. STMA jumping out to a nice lead.
Hopkins trying to go high-low. STMA breaks up the play. Knights with numbers, but not a lane.
Another
They'll take a three. Not quite. Rebound London Harris, the niece of Tamara Moore. McGill, she can knock down threes, but not that time. Hazelton, under duress. That's a staple of Hopkins, the pressure D.
And a foul.
And I'm guessing you've seen Hopkins over the years, Jodi, on state tournament broadcasts and just around town. If you're going to face them, you have to contain that pressure defense because they're going to come at you every inch of the floor.
There is no such thing as a half court with Hopkins.
It was a staple for all those years with Brian Cosgriff. It hasn't changed under Tara Starks, who has been at the helm now for the last 4 years. Hard to believe. It's been 4 years. But her imprint in this program extends deeper than that. Her daughter, TT, played for Hopkins, and Tara, with her strong AAU ties, well known among the Hopkins community. Royals biding their time. Woodson nearly got tripped up. Finds Lauren Hillshine. She has blossomed this year, but her three is long. Kraft draws a late foul. She'll shoot two.
Nice strong move to the basket, earned her the foul.
Jakayla Kraft, considered one of the most likeliest players to make highlight reels.
No surprise there with that nifty little jumper.
Well, and here's a fun fact about Jakayla. She's often mentioned that she can walk into any room and make conversations with someone. I asked her about that at the Tip-Off Classic, and she said, the reason I do that, you never know when that gesture, reaching out, might impact somebody. Just saying someone might be going through a hard time. Maybe they feel isolated from friends, family, society, things like that. Tatum Woodson certainly not isolated from that three-point game. So for Jakayla, she looks at it as an opportunity to build connections and let folks know you're valued. Trying to make it work down low, couldn't. It's 9-3. Knights over Royals.
Yep.
And Kaylee Cox not too pleased about the foul call there.
I enjoy the refs letting them play, but also that was a foul.
I appreciate your bluntness of the situation. I've run into a few scenarios this year where players or fans were protesting a call, and here's Woodson, another three. You bet.
Nothing but net.
Well, I'm not going to protest Woodson's perimeter stroke right now. It's on point. STMA cut off down low.
Yeah, yep.
McGill and Walker on the coverage. They forced the traveling violation.
There's that suffocating defense from Hopkins.
13:41 left in the first half. Hopkins, again, 22-2. Their only losses this year, Dowling Catholic and Johnston, both schools from Iowa. Woodson again. Short that time. Kraft with the rebound. Kraft averaging 26 plus per game. She draws the foul on Harris. And when Kraft dislocated her finger and had to go to the hospital to get it patched, repaired. What am I saying, repaired?
Relocated.
I'm talking to her as if she's a computer. Liv McGill paid a visit to keep her company at the hospital while she was getting serviced.
You know, as competitive as these teams are, it is nice to know that they're often friendly off the court.
Well, those AAU ties really have expanded those connections. McGill and Kraft playing on the same team for a couple of years. Hopkins trying to pry that ball loose again. Three ball short. Hopkins sending a lot of bodies near the rim for those boards. McGill driving kick. Pass offline. Kraft with numbers. Gets a step on Woodson and draws the foul. Kraft split her last time up. And Kraft, someone who's really stepped up her game over the last couple of years. Originally started at Farmington, then came over to STMA. Her personal favorite moment, outside of winning state, I presume, AAU game down in Texas. She got a steal off an opposing team's pass. Dribbled full court, so brought the ball over her head, got the Euro step and the game-winning layup. She gets both free throws here to make it an 11-6 game. STMA over Hopkins. Again, Kraft not available for that first meeting. Hopkins able to retrieve. The pass was deflected. McGill over 1,000 points. One of two contenders for Miss Basketball. I should say one of two likely contenders. 3-ball corner pocket. She and Olivia Olson are probably going to
Excellent defense.
Walker is fouled. She'll shoot 2. And Irma Walker, one of those hidden gems, so to speak. A lot of these players outside of Liv, I feel, fall into that category because for so long, Jodi, you know this, Hopkins had a starting lineup full of Division I studs, including last year's team. So a lot of folks thought they might come down to earth, maybe won't be as competitive as they used to be. But you have to think, folks like Walker, Hillsheim, Harris, they spent all that time serving as understudies. You have to think they picked up a lesson or two.
We were at National Girls and Women in Sports Day a couple of weeks ago, and one of the speakers said that without the regular players, how can the superstars have the foundation to do what they need to do to become champions? And I thought that was such a neat way to think about the way you need the whole team.
Ooh. Hillsheim missed the layup after Woodson got the steal. Hopkins catches a break. No, I stand corrected. It's STMA who drew the foul. It's on Woodson, her second, and Ava Cupido is going to come in. Ava coming over from Minnehaha Academy. She hit a buzzer beater her 7th grade year to win bronze. Kraft spotting an open junkie on the outlets, but she put too much on it. We're tied at 11.
Now we see both teams trying to push the tempo a little bit after a slower start.
Hillsheim for 3. Long, Jonky with the board, trying to go outlet again.
That is the way you beat the press. Make sure.
And that's the 3rd time Jacayla Kraft has drawn a foul on a take.
What was it Michael Jordan always said? Elevate and decide in the air. She appears to be very good at that.
Well, and that's something she has improved on immensely over the last couple of years. When I first saw her as a high school player, she was primarily a spot-up three-point shooter. Over the last couple of years, she has worked on that slashing game, elevate and take, make those decisions, like you said, in midair, and she's become a much more well-rounded player as a result and much more difficult to defend.
Very smooth shooting stroke as well.
5 of 6 from the free throw line. She's got 8 points already. McGill over to Cupido, lets the 3 fly, it's short. Jonky with the rebound. And even though Tessa Johnson is no longer with this team because she graduated.
Coast to coast.
Well, who needs Tessa when you've got folks like Jonky? I'll explain in a moment. Harris on the other end, too strong. Walker can't slip it in. Hazelton with the board. But to finish up my point, Jodi, Tessa Johnson, who's now at South Carolina, they haven't lost a game all season. Even though she graduated, just about everyone else came back from last year's state title team.
Which explains why they've had some success this year. A 20-win season, nothing to see that.
Well, if they get a win tonight, it would be another 20-win season. And if they don't, they'll have another chance next week. Abby Hazelton, All-Lake Conference honoree last year. Her favorite drink is Dr. Pepper. I don't know if that is a recommended drink for athletes. I actually had to give up pop. So I do miss my Dr. Pepper, but my teeth are much more grateful.
I don't do it during the season, but a nice cold beverage is appreciated.
Oh, I like it with some other drinks mixed in.
Indeed.
I'll let you make the inference from there. It's 16-11 as Hasselton split at the line. McGill picks up the dribble. Finds Lysedra Williams, who draws the foul. She'll shoot 2. Lysedra, one of the newcomers for Hopkins this year, alongside Cupido.
Finally starting to see that little pick and roll, give and go into the lane work for Hopkins. I don't know about you, Mike, but I think when you get a foul, it can sometimes be just as good as a basket because you get to reset your offense and try again.
It's a side up for Hopkins. Williams not in the act of shooting. Hillsheim spots an opening and slips underneath House. Her first field goal. Kraft doubled. Kaylee Cox gets it across. Kraft, step back 3. Short.
Great
Junkie.
rebound. Yep.
Cleanup time. Or should I say Mrs. Clean.
STMA has been great on the boards on both sides of the court tonight.
Liv McGill, Junkie got a piece of it. Receives the outlet. Cupido fouls Junkie, and Hopkins already out of fouls to give.
I don't know, I might have called that one all ball. That was a pretty nifty hand-eye coordination from Cupido.
It's tough from up here because we are several feet away. Junkie owns a business. She didn't say which kind of business, but she is a 3-sport athlete: volleyball, basketball, track and field, and averaging 14.5 points per game. She blanks at the line, though. So a break for Hopkins. Williams.
And it goes.
Holy roller, Batman.
Wow.
Lysedra averaging 8.2. And Hopkins, you figured they weren't going to go anywhere.
It's hard to, when you're not here, it's hard to understand the feeling of a game, but you really do feel that Hopkins is just waiting to break this thing wide open. Here comes that press.
And that was after a 4-point play. Hillsheim putting back the miss from Williams. Why settle for 3 when you can get 4, right?
Exactly.
STMA looking for 3. They don't get it. Rebound, McGill. She takes off running. 1-on-1. Looking for the runner.
Graceful. That was one of the most graceful baskets I've ever seen.
Well, Liv will do that 10 times over every game, at least in a Hopkins jersey. Ooh. Hopkins, they are not apologetic about their aggressive defensive approach, but in a situation like that, Hillsheim now puts STMA at the line. That's a risky run sometimes. Deja Simmons coming over from the Park Center program. Hasn't scored a ton this season, but will try to pick up a point or 2 at the line. Hopkins leads 19-18.
Converts the first half.
St. Michael-Albertville, their losses this season: once to Eden Prairie, Benilde St. Margaret's, and they were swept by Minnetonka as Simmons makes both free throws. So STMA, it will depend on who gets through. You have to think if Minnetonka and Hopkins get through, STMA probably won't get ahead of Minnetonka. This game against Hopkins could potentially decide a 2 or 3 seed, but remember, Hopkins has a win over Minnetonka, so I would probably go cross-eyed trying to seed everybody.
I did a picture of the guy with the stuff tacked to his bulletin board with the strings on it. That's what you just did, yeah.
Ava Cupido going to the line to shoot too. I think that's what I just did, or I probably would end up paying homage to Channing Tatum's character in 21 Jump Street, just drawing a whiteboard full of 4s.
Yep.
That's about how much sense it would make for me trying to see the 4A field. Ava Cupido, averaging 8.9 a game, has really helped bolster the backcourt for Hopkins, giving the Royals another point guard that can spell for McGill. And when Liv graduates, I have a feeling Ava's going to step right in. No trouble with those free throws.
I think it is a challenge, a happy challenge for a coach to be so talented, so deep.
And a lot of this depth coming out of nowhere. Well, Jacayla Kraft.
Great split of the defenders.
Almost came out of nowhere herself. Because again, we were so enamored, as McGill was thinking about a 3, with Nunu Aguirre, Taylor Woodson, Amaya Battle, Maya Naji from a couple years ago, Paige Beckers.
All those names, yep.
3 on the way, that's Malia White. Williams, rebound, up and in.
Williams, deceptively lanky.
23-22, this back and forth battle continues. Oh, Junkie.
Nice.
Snuck underneath.
Just lost track of her with that movement offense.
You could have fit a semi through that lane. 24-23, 7:28 to go in the first half. McGill from 15, got it. McGill with 3 30-point games this year, had 29 in the win over Wayzata. Cox. Hopkins fans were calling for a travel. Cox might have, I say might. I thought I saw maybe a slight drag, but if there was one, it wasn't much. That's a long-winded way of saying I don't know.
But a nice play to get Cox the ball, the one extra pass. Sometimes an overlooked feature of the game.
Kaylee Cox averaging 6.6 points per game. Blanks at the line again. St. Michael-Albertville starting to struggle outside of Kraft. And you wonder how those missed points might add up. McGill hampered on the way to the rim, but ultimately unencumbered.
That was such a neat read that the lane had opened and her defender had gotten herself out of position and then just took it all the way to the hoop.
Liv McGill, she spent a long time in varsity, began her varsity career with the Park Center program. Adalia McKenzie was a teammate of hers. Adalia Miss Basketball 2021 and coming off a big win over Indiana a couple days ago. She's at Illinois.
I'm going to start calling you Encyclopedia Mike.
I've hung around this sport for a long time. I suppose it's bound to happen.
That's a travel. In stereo.
It is in stereo. I'm working on 5.1, but trying to get 5.1 announcers might be hard because you really can't account for a tenth.
It's true.
I'd have to settle for 5. How wild would that be? Cupido for 3.
Way downtown.
I think STMA got a piece of it.
Or a piece of Cupido.
Either way, it's a stop. Junkie, elbow J, switch. But Hopkins holds a 2-point lead, 28-26. There's McGill. Out to Hillsheim, 3 from the key. Long. Cox with the rebound. Both teams in the penalty now. House.
Nope.
Not that time. Simmons able to retrieve. Cox in trouble again. It will be Hopkins' ball. 6:09 left in the first half.
Both teams unafraid to fight for the ball, be aggressive, play the game. It's really great. This is some really good basketball.
I was thinking about that 5.1 announcer suggestion, and I realized I probably would be borrowing a page from the script of The Naked Gun, if you remember the baseball scene.
Yes.
The climax, so to speak. Here's McGill, another 3.
A little short.
It's the front iron. Hopkins in a bit of a rut right now in what has been a close game. Whoops.
Great
Look out.
Passing to the stands. Great look. Just overthrew it.
Just a bit outside, as Harry Doyle would say. Well, to those folks along the baseline bleachers, if you want to know what it's like to get a front row seat to the action, well, there you go. Got to watch out for those errant entry passes. McGill from the wing. The runner, Liv McGill, living in the sunlight and loving every minute of it.
McGill's got nearly a sixth sense for when to shoot and when to dribble.
Jonke scores on the other end for St. Michael-Albertville. It's McGill, but she's too strong this time. Kraft catches the outlet. She's got a step, and the finish, and the foul.
Oh.
And she nearly collided with our camera operator down there.
And just like that, tie game with possibly the STMA going ahead.
Ja'Kayla Kraft with 12 points.
I'm going to make a prediction, Mike. This one's going right to the wire. Just like
A lot of other games I've called this year. You never know, though. Every game is different. Hopkins, they got the upper hand on Wayzata on Thursday and ran away with it, even though Wayzata has played them close over the years. It's been close here. That prediction could turn out to be accurate. Cupido had the ball stripped by Simmons. Jonke, extra pass, House, the Hezzy. Got it back. Cross court. Knights will run a set. Jonke trying to go baseline, didn't see a lane. Trying again, cut off. You hear the countdown. Kraft through the lane and in.
Oh, just finding a way.
It only makes sense since her surname is Kraft. McGill. That's almost automatic.
Yep.
You give McGill an opening like that. She made it look so effortless, too.
And a block.
A block on one of her best buddies. I have a feeling that might be the subject of some smack talk on Instagram or TikTok after the game.
Almost certainly.
(33-32). 3:50 to go in the first. Simmons. Got it back. Finds a cutting Jonke for two more. Kale Jonke having herself a game. Cupido for three. Slightly left. Cox with the rebound. St. Michael-Albertville a chance to add to this lead. It's Cox, too strong, and last touch by Hopkins. And this rivalry has produced some great moments over the years. Hopkins will take a timeout. Tara Starcraft sensing a tinge of exhaustion on the part of the Royals. But how about the season Hopkins has put together? A lot of folks thought, maybe their reign at the top would reach its end. And here they are, 22-2. They have a big one over Minnetonka, the sweep over Wayzata. At this rate, Jodi, if Hopkins can get out of their section, they probably would be the #1 seed.
I can't imagine they wouldn't be.
In the state.
I can't imagine they wouldn't be. And well-deserved, right? They lost some players, but they appear to have bounced right back into the thick of it.
Well, they lost 4 Division I recruits. Nuno Aguera, Taylor Woodson, Jazzy Dupree, Kelly Boyle.
Again, it just speaks to the depth of the program and the fact that they've got kids coming up. I saw a sign for 3rd to 8th grade registration outside.
What's the saying? Success breeds success?
Yes.
Jonke, the turnaround. Kale Jonke That had to be a significantly high degree of difficulty there. Never easy to get a turnaround with a woman in your face. McHale's up to 14 points. She and Kraft are leading the way. McGill.
Hopkins not afraid to shoot it.
Williams swipes the ball. Tupido to Hillsheim. Kraft trying to reach in there. Does sneak in. And the timeout call was made in time. Kraft getting one back on Liv McGill there. I spoke with Liv in Thursday's game, teased her a little bit about this matchup, the last regular season meeting with her compadre, and she gave me the diplomatic answer, basically saying, we're opponents on the court, we'll be friends afterward. You were going to say something, though.
Your comment was so good, I forgot what I was going to say.
That would be a first. I did not think it was humanly possible for me to make such a good comment and render my partner speechless. But I have somehow surpassed myself.
All good times here, folks. All good times.
You could tell I don't take anything seriously. 37-32. Junkie.
Yeah, it's a travel.
Drag her foot.
You do get the sense that Hopkins looks a little tired. I will say that. I will say they look a little flat-footed right now.
But another bucket or two might awaken their senses once more. They've been through adversity. Remember, they nearly came back from 20-plus down last year in the title game. Hillsheim, that would have been a helpful three.
I have a feeling she's going to keep shooting that thing till she puts one in, and then going to keep shooting it.
Well, she was able to get back on defense and cut off Kaylee Cox, who had nowhere to go in the lane. Liv McGill, that's usually money.
Yeah.
It's rare to see her miss a runner like that. Kraft attacks, too strong, but she had a trailer.
There's the putback.
Kaylee Cox is on the board, and St. Michael-Albertville leads by 7. Their largest lead was 8 when they started the game at 8-0. Harris for 3. Bullseye.
There it is. Maybe they just need to shoot from that side of the court instead of this one.
Well, remember, they've got a lot of talent. Maybe not the superstars of years past, but these players, they know how to get the job done. Junkie attacking again. Hopkins, on sets at least, they've been able to do a good enough job protecting the interior. Less than a minute to go. McGill, the step back move. Rebound will go to Hopkins.
Hopkins, yep. Good hustle play.
51.5 on the clock. Kraft calling out the formation for her teammates. Oh, Aaron inbound pass. And a foul from behind on Harris. 2 free throws coming for Kaylee Cox with St. Michael-Albertville in the double bonus.
More good hustle from Kaylee Cox.
Well, St. Michael-Albertville, they're not going to be afraid of Hopkins. After all, they got a win against them last year to take state. One of those teams that can put up a big run on short notice. Cox splits at the line. St. Michael-Albertville 10 of 17. McGill goes to White for 3, and it's there.
That'll catch you up pretty quick.
Well, another great example of McGill's vision. I thought she was going to go baseline. It looked like she had the lane there, but she found White wide open for the 3. Kraft.
Oh, and a poke.
We've got a traffic jam and a foul. This will send Hopkins to the line. as they're in the bonus as well.
The bodies have hit the floor.
Well played, Jodi. Well played. I used that line once, coincidentally, at a Park Center game that Liv McGill was a part of.
It's a trend.
Well, Liv, she's played this game for a long time. Floor burner 2 is probably nothing.
That was one of my trademarks when I played in high school. I was either fouling out or on the floor all the time.
Is that why you took up football?
Surprising no one, yeah.
Is that why you took up football, so you would never have to foul out?
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, you can make as many penalties as you want as long as you don't get too unsportsmanlike.
Yep.
You can just keep hacking. McGill makes both free throws. St. Michael-Albertville has time for one more, 10 seconds. Who will take the shot? Kaylee Cox. White's on her. Bounce pass inside to Kraft.
Oh.
Gets it to go to beat the buzzer. Well, understatement of the year, Jodi, but that was fun.
You know, Hopkins is hanging their head a little bit, I think. Lost a little that buzzer beater at the end, but it's a tough game, and both teams are playing very, very well.
They are indeed, but it's St. Michael-Albertville with a 42-40 lead over Hopkins in a game with big state tournament seeding stakes on the line. We'll come back and go over first half stats and analysis. This is high school girls basketball. STMA leads Hopkins by 2.
Twin Cities Sports Broadcasting, and a whole lot more. That's what you get from TSB Television. We provide long-lasting digital coverage of your favorite athletes from the preps to the pros. Dazzling moves.
Holloman, good if it goes. Yes!
Game winners.
From James. She's in trouble. Finds James. Toss shot! It goes in!
And everything in between.
Before we let you go, do you want to say hi to anybody?
Oh, I don't know. That put me on the spot there.
If you want to connect with our audience, visit us at patreon.com/TSB Television or sponsor our coverage through PayPal and Cash App. Thank you for watching.
Mike Peden and Jodi Rehlander back here at the Royals Athletic Center. St. Michael-Albertville leads Hopkins 42-40 in the second of 2 late conference meetings. The first half numbers go something like this. Jacayla Kraft leading St. Michael-Albertville with 17 points. Kale Jonke with 14. The notables for Hopkins, 16 points for Liv McGill. 6 for Tatum Woodson. Had a couple of threes early, but Hopkins has spread the ball around a little more. Jodi, what do you think the second half comes down to? Because neither side led by more than 8, and we saw both teams trade blows.
I think the message for both sides is more of the same. More of the same aggressiveness, attacking, strong to the basket when you get your looks. I think it's just going to come down to who has the ball last, honestly. Like I said before, it's going to go down to the wire.
And a reminder of the stakes. Hopkins, as of now, probably has the number 1 seed, or at least is in the lead position. They have the split over Minnetonka, and then Minnetonka, as you may know, lost to Hopkins and Wayzata in the same week. So that put Hopkins number 1 in the state rankings. If STMA can get a win against them, that puts a lot more pressure on that second meeting with Minnetonka for the number 1 overall seed. And of course, you have to get to your section first.
I will say Hopkins did feel a little tight at times in the first half. So we'll see if they can loosen that up and open the game up the second half.
And they can certainly loosen up. Last year against Wayzata, they trailed by 12 and worked their way back for the win. Harris hands it off to Hillshine. 3-ball corner pocket.
Nice patient start to the second half.
That's Woodson. She had 2 fouls, and then the ball poked from behind her. Woodson had 2 quick fouls, had to sit most of the first half. You wonder if that impacted the flow of Hopkins in the first half.
And I love that particular play where you try to anticipate the passing lane. It is an art.
There is certainly an artistic quality with these two teams, especially Liv McGill and how graceful she is at the point guard slot. Laces the entry pass for Walker. Padding her rebounding numbers, but not her point total.
Ugh.
She had 4 chances, I think.
4, yes.
Something like that. But no points to show for it. 3-ball, corner pocket. Ava House with her second 3. Her first one, she banked off the window from almost that exact spot, the left corner. Woodson on the spin move. Can't rinse it down.
And no one under the basket for Hopkins.
Abby
wonder
Hazelton goes streaking to the bucket, that is. And STMA throwing the latest proverbial punch. Oh, Walker threw it away. Now that you don't see from Hopkins as the ball rolls, rolling.
Rolling.
Okay, you knew where I was going.
I did.
All right, you and I, let's find our blazers and our sunglasses, and you and I can pay homage to the Blues Brothers. And all these kids watching this are going to be going, what is wrong with these two? More specifically, me.
That's why they made Google Kids.
Speaking of Google, House wanted to look up another 3, but she couldn't knock it down. McGill through one defender, out to Hillshine. Yes.
There's that 3 she's been looking for.
Hillshine with 10. Couple of 3s in this half. And Hopkins bringing the press again. Kraft under duress. Gets out of it. Hazelton back out to Cox. Called for the charge.
Yep.
Barreled into Irma Walker.
Say what you will, it takes a certain amount of guts to understand that there's an opportunity for a charge and then just go and get it.
Well, I've thought of you more than once, Jodi, with your role on the Vixen, now with the Minx. When I see those players display that toughness, I'm thinking this might be someone Jodi hits up in a few years. I guess you have your own team to recruit for now, because I'm thinking, well, who would you refer them to? Woodson missing the jumper going across.
Oh, great pass.
And Jonke with a great finish. She has flourished in transition all game long.
Great feed, great finish. They've done that a couple of times.
Been there, done that, as the old saying goes. McGill trying to put a move on Cox, and instead throws it into the pits.
So far, STMA has got an answer for every parry that Hopkins tries.
Kraft for 3. Swish! That was her bread and butter early in her career at St. Michael-Albertville, and she hasn't lost that touch. She's also the resident goofball of the team. McGill fouled, she'll shoot 2. Liv a little more stoic. Actually, I slightly embarrassed her, I think, because in the breakdown book she listed that she does singing and rapping outside of basketball, and I threw that at her during the postgame interview, and her reply was, no one was supposed to know about that.
You shouldn't have told the
Well, she shouldn't have wrote it down.
guy.
Well, she said, I didn't think anyone would read that. Well, how can I not read it when you've had 3 30-point games this season? You scored over 1,000. You're a McDonald's All-American.
All
and you
of
have
that.
22.5 points per game this year.
That part.
I mean, you got to play alongside the likes of Adalia McKenzie, Amaya Battle, Maya Naji, Nudo Aguirre. I'm not sure what STMA was trying to execute, but Hopkins gets a free ball out of it.
Pretty much.
And a wide open Harris down
yes,
low.
great look. I saw Harris coming around the corner and went, I hope she sees her, and she did.
Malia White hit with the foul on Kaylee Cox. 13:51 left in the second half as we trade ebb and flow, one-liners, and corny jokes. Well,
it's always a treat.
I was going to say, you can figure out who's doing the corny jokes. Here's a hint. It's not one of those 10 on the floor. But you're right. This has been a tight game all the way through, emblematic of the rivalry that has defined these two over the last couple of years. St. Michael-Albertville in the COVID year took a step back. That's when Tessa Johnson was recovering from a broken femur. But since her return, these two have given us plenty of memorable tussles, including that state championship. And who knows? We might get a third meeting this year. Hillsheim, another three. Junkie gets the rebound. House using the Euro.
Oh.
You're a piece of work, Ava House. A piece of real fine work on that last play.
Her house is full.
Full of what? Aces full of eights?
Full of Avas.
Aces full of Avas. That was good. Traveling call on Harris. Aces full of Avas. I don't know where she's going to college yet, but I could see if she goes on, some SID use that as a tagline.
Absolutely.
If they do, you should hit them up for royalties.
Yep. NIL for broadcasters.
Junkie had the cross-court pass tipped away, and it's going to roll away again, almost. That's the one downside to playing at places like the Royals Athletic Center, these field houses. If a loose ball gets behind, it's not stopping.
It could go. Yes. Unforced error there at the baseline.
54-50, and I noticed Abe's all by himself down there. Here's another one of our camera ops. He could take up any spot he wants on the bleachers. And I see the crowd switch sides. Well, I remember when Paige was here, the crowds were massive, vast, immense.
She was something special. Travels.
Harris traveled again.
Yes.
And Tara Starks is going to bring in Tatum Woodson, sensing that Harris has put herself in a precarious spot. You know, there were sellouts, Jodi, for sections and even doubleheaders the one year they had them in the Lake Conference. You talk about threading the needle. I don't think you could have gotten much closer than Junkie's skip to Ava House. Ava will shoot two.
And that play was a very good example of what STMA is clearly very good at, which is finding the passing lane in the lane.
And we're going to have a big change here for Hopkins. That last foul was the fourth on Irma Walker. So she's got to come out. Lysandra Williams will come in. Now, Williams had a couple of buckets.
And Walker just a freshman, if the program is to be believed. So lots of time for her.
Right, she got some varsity time as an eighth grader last year. One of the rising prodigies. Elbow J for Woodson is pure. 55-52. Still back and forth, but anytime you've got a starter in foul trouble, that can have an influence. Hazelton too strong on the take. And Hopkins looking to run. Hillsheim. Oh, that was close, but she stayed on her
Good
pivot.
patience by Hillsheim.
She stayed on her pivot and was able to get the fast break play.
Dead ball.
As you know, the 5-second count still applies.
Yep.
Kaylee Cox saying Woodson got me from behind. What did you see, Jodi?
Inadvertent contact. That's what I saw. Like when the safety and the wide receiver get their feet tangled together, that's what that was.
So Hopkins has a chance to take the lead, get the sweep on St. Michael-Albertville, and maintain that foothold on the 1 seed.
Oh, and one.
Liv McGill plants a potential 3-point seed with her patented dribble drive.
I am just so impressed with McGill. Quiet, 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 and then all of a sudden loud. I love it.
Well, you want loud. That is her 5th straight 20-point game, and that's the 4th foul on Kaylee Cox. So both teams have a player one away from disqualification. Liv McGill, 3 30-point games. Never had a 30-point game before in her life until the season opener when she got 1,000 points. And while that might sound crazy, you have to remember Liv didn't need to score a whole lot with all the teammates she had.
Right.
This year, taking a little more initiative. Hopkins leads by 2 after the 3-point play.
Good job on defense there with that little switcheroo.
3.
Short.
And it's Williams with the rebound. McGill. Again.
Nope, too strong. Oh!
That was Williams, but McGill. Okay, she's getting up. She was down on the floor for a moment. She ran right into the bleachers.
And Williams doing what sometimes is just the best thing to do, is hang around and stick your hand in there.
Get your hand in the cookie jar. Who knows, you might end up with an Oreo or 2.
The double stuff.
Or it's Girl Scout cookie season, so maybe a tag-along would be more
Thin Mints.
apropos.
Thin Mints.
7 to shoot. Woodson, speaking of Thin Mints, finds Williams.
Oh!
Oh, she can't freshen up there. Had a good look. Kraft lacing it to Jonke again. How many fast break points has Jonke scored?
Man, it's like they practiced it.
Oh, I'm sure they have practiced it. Woodson for 3.
Oh, in and out.
Loose ball.
STMA ball.
They held the arrow. I had Olivia Olson of Benilde St. Margaret's with me last night. I asked her what it's like to be in a scrum like that.
I guess
Go ahead.
the one good thing about basketball is that generally you stay upright, and there's usually not a ton of large people that can fall on you. In football, getting prepared for 1,200 pounds of people to be on top of you with force is always fun.
Or as Garth and Wayne might say, not. That's a blocking foul.
I think so. She wasn't quite set.
Well, that's what the officials called.
Yes.
Whether you think so or not.
I was looking at the end official. The backcourt official had the call.
London Harris hit with a 3rd personal, and Jakayla Kraft, the southpaw, is going to the line. And
This could get interesting if multiple people on both teams get into foul trouble here down the stretch.
We may be heading that direction. Jakayla Kraft, like McGill, setting a lot of scoring milestones this year, averaging 26.6. 4 games with 30 or more, and we mentioned that 41-point performance against Eden Prairie, a career high. Woodson for 3.
Nope.
Can't bank it in. Williams, rebound. Not enough on it. St. Michael-Albertville leads by 2.
You know, Williams, only a sophomore.
Jonke, the 3 ball.
Ooh.
That would have been big, but Simmons is there.
Puts it back.
Jodi, if it's not the fast break layups, it's been the putbacks.
Absolutely. STMA absolutely winning the rebound game tonight.
McGill for three.
Nope.
Over the backboard, dead ball rebound to St. Michael-Albertville.
Williams, just a sophomore, when she gets a little bit more strength in that post, those putback baskets are absolutely going to go in. Right now, she's just a little bit willowy.
And I mentioned this at the Wayzata game last Thursday, but whatever happens for Hopkins, Kraft, well, I'll tell you what, Jacayla is going to be a special player, I think, for Seton Hall next year out in the Big East.
Mm-hmm.
And like Hopkins, there's always a question for St. Michael-Albertville. How would they move forward after Tessa Johnson, last year's Miss Basketball and fellow McDonald's All-American, going to South Carolina? How would they move forward? And they've done it by committee.
Yeah.
Right. Well, Kraft has led the way, but they've gotten it done by committee. Jonky, Hazelton, and again, when you have so much experience from last year's team back, it's not as much of a jump as you might think. Jacayla Kraft, she's been money at the free throw line. 63-57, so St. Michael-Albertville getting that inch of separation again, but Hopkins has answered almost every time. Do they have another one?
We'll find out.
Stay tuned, as the saying goes. McGill backing away. 10 to shoot. Looking to attack.
There's that runner.
That's the Liv McGill we're accustomed to seeing.
There's that runner.
The runner
Such a nice shot.
going to Florida next year. Out in the SEC, a conference that is going to add a few schools. That's Hazelton. A contested drive, but she made it work. 65-59. McGill going on the spin cycle, extra rinse.
You know, if McGill has decided that I guess I got to do this on my own, that's not a bad thing.
All right, I'll do it myself.
Yep. Thanos version.
Here comes the three, and
That's
a foul by Hazelton.
Yep. That is
The fourth on Hazelton, and
Yes.
Rehlander giving us the Macaulay Culkin Home Alone face.
I was going to go Edvard Munch scream, but the Home Alone works. Raylan's giving me the sign that I am correct.
All right, what does she win? She wins a
Ice
McFlurry.
cream. All right.
A mint chocolate chip flurry. Or is that Oreo? Both. Liv McGill. As we're talking about all this, Liv McGill's at the line. She's
is putting together
a minty game of her own.
Yes. Well
One
done.
that would make you scream in excitement. And a dead ball rebound to Hopkins. Timeout, Tara Starks. Jodi, I never know what to expect with you, but I think we have found the bridge between staying on top of it and engaging in this silly banter of ours that has become a staple every
Of
time
our
we're together.
broadcast. Yes, it's true.
In the middle of a tight game with two state champions from the last 2 years.
We managed to get McFlurry, Edvard Munch, and Home Alone into the broadcast.
65-63. We have. All that's missing is a cheese pizza.
Mozzarella. Fonzarelli? I don't know.
Fonzarelli? Where's that from?
Happy Days, Arthur Fonzarelli.
Okay,
the
yeah,
Fonz,
that's what I was thinking.
Because
Oh, pizza. And while we're at it, why don't let's get Weezer, have them reenact the Buddy Holly music video.
Schlemiel, Schlemazel. Yeah.
Wait,
All right.
that's Laverne and Shirley.
I was a TV Land kid. What can I tell you?
So 65-63, Jodi, there is still a game going on.
It's true. It's true.
So
yes.
Hopkins has the ball here. as much as we went down pop culture memory lane, Hopkins, again, they just keep plugging away. Every time STMA moves forward, Hopkins
has an
strikes
answer.
back.
Yep.
And that's one big reason why. Number 23 in black. That's the new alternate uniforms this year for Hopkins, the all black kits.
They look very stylish.
8 to shoot. McGill for 3.
No!
Yes! Her fourth 30-point game this season, but we still have an eternity to go. 7:03. Hopkins in front by 1. Cox. Used up the dribble, finds Simmons. Hopkins working that perimeter, and they get the jump ball. Hopkins with the arrow.
You wonder if the possession arrow will become a factor here as well. We've got fouls, we've got possession arrows, we've got 3-point plays from the free throw line. I mean, come on.
We even managed to make a reference to Weezer. But this game has had everything, much like the state championship meeting from a year ago. Williams cut off again.
Yeah.
Like you said, Jodi, that strength still coming into focus.
Yeah.
Kraft can't hit the step back shot.
I don't hate that, though. I mean, trying to get some momentum back, right? And
Foul. It's on House.
Yep.
How many is that for Ava? Her second. Tatum Woodson to the line. Had a big game against Wayzata on Thursday, averaging 13.2 points per game this season. Younger sister of Taylor and one of the many who has blossomed. Splits at the line, ball still live, and St. Michael-Albertville gets hold of it before the pileup. Cox over to Jonke. Her baseline J is true. Kale Jonke with 20. We're even at 67. Kraft going for the pick. That will give Hopkins numbers. Woodson recognizes it, misses the layup. Another scrum. Big break for the Knights. Simmons to Cox. House going Euro. Oh my goodness.
Wow. House to the house.
Aces full of Avas. McGill.
Nope.
Too strong. Liv has had a few of those drives go awry. Oh, Simmons had an opening. Hopkins with the deflection. House. That's a walk.
Yes.
I saw her clutch. You wonder, Jodi, if she goes for it right away. I think she gets the layup. I wonder if she was trying to draw the foul,
Yes,
seeing the
I
player
think she
coming.
was.
Sometimes I feel players can get a little too greedy that way. If you got an open lane, take it. You don't try to get too cute, if you know what I mean.
Yep, absolutely.
Take those points and say thank you. But this game far from over. Harris short on the 3. Skying up for the board is Hazelton.
Pushing.
Kraft
Yeah.
scores again. And STMA, they're passing. We talk about the brilliance of Liv McGill, Jodi. St. Michael-Albertville has thread the ball in some tight spaces all game.
The court vision of STMA is, frankly, flabbergasting, if that's a word.
Flabbergasted, I would say so. Lauren Hillsheim with an exquisite layup.
Adjectives are us
71-69.
here tonight. Nearly a backcourt violation.
That was close. Cox left alone. Kraft tips the rebound, but can't hang on to it. 3:40 left.
Oh. I'm stressed, Mike. This game is stressing me out. In
You
a
think
good
we're
way.
stressed? Imagine being one of them.
Ooh. So good.
But again, these two, no strangers to tight ball games. McGill, Kraft guarding her.
Is it going to be a lane? Is it going to be a kick out? Oh, downtown.
My.
Nah.
McGill trying the Caitlin Clark route. It didn't pay off. I'm not used to seeing McGill shoot from that far, though. I'm not disputing that she can do it, but I haven't seen that too much out of her compared to some other players like Madden Greenway or Sarah Scalia in recent years.
I mean, Madden Greenway, anything up to and including the half-court line. Oh,
Ava House using the three-point shot as a fake. She drains the elbow J. McGill.
hit the back of the rim.
And a foul.
Ooh.
Highest scoring game that Ray Lynn's ever seen. Well, I've seen some 80 and 90-point games, Ray Lynn. I remember covering Hopkins STMA a few years ago when Paige was a senior. Hopkins won that one, 88-80. That was just the second foul on McGill. We should point that out. Both teams with one to give, but that was a big stop for STMA. It was looking to get a big win.
Yep, see if they can get that lead up to 6.
A win would certainly shake up section state seeding. Jacayla Kraft tried to go up on the double. That didn't work out. Hopkins, they've got numbers if they go. Hillsheim does. Jump ball, St. Michael-Albertville with the arrow, but Jodi, I've seen Hopkins miss a few of those bunnies in this game.
Yep. And again, just losing the battle of the rebounds. I think if whoever wins, whoever loses, Hopkins is going to look at this game and say chances missed.
Hopkins has not lost to a team in the state of Minnesota this season. Their only 2 losses came to Iowa programs.
There we go.
They're not ready
There's
to
McGill.
relinquish that yet. McGill, Kraft. Kraft got up for the block.
There's a little bit of that trash talk coming, I think. Both, just a nifty play by Kraft.
And one that requires high IQ. It's really difficult to get a clean block in transition like that. It's still Hopkins' ball, but Liv McGill, you're right, probably going to hear that. Jacayla will get a highlight to her reel. 1:42 left. McGill, the step back 3. Short. Hazelton with the rebound. St. Michael-Albertville can work some clock here. Got to get it across half court. Kent Hamry making sure Kaylee Cox does just that. Hazelton, driving kick, Jonky, the dagger.
No.
Liv McGill. Is she going to go? Well, she is going to go to the free throw line.
Yes.
Jodi, you said this had the makings of a photo finish.
Well, and you wonder, McGill, the choice to toss it up like that and hope she got the foul. Had Kraft had a little bit more restraint, that ball just might have gone straight up in the air for a turnover. So, calculated risk. Who knows?
Risk is part of the game.
Yep.
You don't get to the position these two schools have without taking a few chances. Again, last two state tournament champions in Class 4A. Liv McGill makes both free throws. Hopkins calls timeout. They'll have 2 remaining. Jodi, 3 state titles for St. Michael-Albertville. Hopkins with a boatload of them, 7 with Brian Cosgriff, and 1 from Tara Starks. Both want to add another one. 73-71, 2-point game. Jodi, you're in what I would call the danger zone, with or without a shot clock, and no pun intended, because St. Michael-Albertville, they'll probably work some clock here, but if you don't score, that opens the door for Hopkins.
Absolutely, and you got to wonder if Hopkins is going to try to win it or tie it.
Well, first things first, they have to get a stop. And for St. Michael-Albertville, Kraft and Jonke have been fabulous all game. Ava House, a solid second half. She's got 10 points. Who do you draw a play for in this situation?
Oh, boy. I think Kraft to House. I think Kraft to House is what I'd go with.
And Jacayla Kraft.
House has just been creating things this whole second half.
Has expanded her game, but it's not just Kraft, it's so many others. That list, by the way, of highlight makers includes McGill and Greenway and all the big names you've heard about if you followed high school hoops. 1:13 to go, 73-71.
Clock doesn't start till the inbounds pass is caught.
And Estimate has some timeouts. Ken Henry will take one.
Yes, because he was about to get the 5-second violation.
And that's why a lot of coaches save them.
Yep.
And we should point out that Hopkins does hold the arrow, and they also have 1 foul to give. You probably won't use it here because
Right.
you can play for the stop. And Jodi, I know you and I talked about this before, but this is one of the many after effects of the shot clock. The Lake Conference used to that, of course, putting it in place last season. You can play for the stop.
Yep.
And Pat Baird, one of my colleagues, he's here tonight watching this game. He and I talked about how it also helped legitimize zone, other junk defenses, because other teams can't lay back and drain clock. You can play for a stop now.
Right. Right.
I
Especially when you have the kind of suffocating press defense on an out-of-bounds play that Hopkins appears to have.
I don't know if you watched last year's epic clash between these two, but
Saw the highlights. I watched the highlights this afternoon.
you did watch the highlights
I did.
of last
Yep.
year's championship.
Yep.
I feel like this game, maybe a smaller crowd, but it's bringing me back to that meeting
Oh, yeah.
1 year ago.
Absolutely. And it's nearly an identical score.
Nearly an identical score, but how we got there, a much different avenue. It was Hopkins trying to work their way back from a major deficit. Here, it's been tight all game. Hopkins forcing the tie-up.
Yep. Play for the stop, just like you said, Mike.
Ken
What?
Hamry.
Well, whether it was a travel or a jump ball, either way it goes to Hopkins.
Ken Hamry, I think, was looking for a foul. I saw him
Ah.
talking with one of the officials. He's the head coach for St. Michael-Albertville, longtime head coach. Has been on hand for a couple of those state titles, 2009 and 2023. But right now, he wants to get this game. A 2 to tie, a 3 would give them the lead. McGill will go to the line to try to tie this up. And that foul is on Hazelton, and that's it for her. Abby's going to finish with 7 points. Liv McGill, such a cunning slasher. She does just about everything great. But her ability to get to the rim, nearly unparalleled.
Yes.
As you know, you get 30 seconds to make a substitution. Simmons will go back in, and Jodi, this is something that Hopkins has seen or has implemented for so many years, using that pressure to get stops. Jacayla Kraft instructing her teammates, because whatever happens here, if you miss, you want to make sure you get your hands on the ball. If McGill makes it, well, it's still STMA with a chance.
Oh my gosh. I was almost sure that ball was short.
McGill has 34. Hopkins pressing again. It's a tie game. House gets it across half court. Looking for Kraft. She got pushed.
Okay.
It was deflected.
Oh, before the shot.
But that is the last foul to give for Hopkins, and I'm not sure they wanted to use it
right there
in that situation. That's just the third on Tatum Woodson, but
19 seconds on the shot clock.
I think they'll reset it to 20.
Right.
They follow the men's college rules. Quick reminder there.
So
the Knights cannot hold it here. They've got to take at least one shot.
Oh, travel.
Offensive foul. And Hopkins can now play for the win.
And STMA is upset.
They tried the same move that Kraft was utilizing on that foul call. And remember, Hopkins in the bonus, so if there's a foul, free throws
they go
will
to
come.
The line. Yep.
I suspect Hopkins will hold for one more. Maybe take a shot with a few seconds left. Entry pass, tip back. Is it Liv McGill time? 8, 7, 6. McGill looking for a lane. Doesn't get one.
Wow.
1.6. Now, quick reminder, you cannot advance the ball at this level, not like the college or pro game. So St. Michael-Albertville, if they're going to pull a magic trick out of their hat, they've got to go the length of the floor. And not a lot of time to do it. 1.6 gives you time for a catch, one dribble, and a shot.
Pretty much. And with Hopkins almost certainly going to put that blanket over you, I don't know, Mike.
But how about that last defensive stand by St. Michael-Albertville? They did not give Liv an easy lane at all.
Yep.
She was looking left and right, and Rehlander is making a signal. Rehlander is next to us here, but Liv McGill was going left and right, couldn't find anything.
Yep. Now, if Hopkins has any regrets, it's probably going to be that they wasted some opportunities. You know, their gimmies didn't go in. McGill didn't get some clean shots, but what a game.
She still has 34 points.
Absolutely, but what a game.
And it's not over yet because St. Michael-Albertville, they got to get the ball in. They're going to play for overtime.
Yeah.
I don't blame them.
Nope.
Bonus basketball.
My goodness. We go to extra innings in Hopkins.
Extra innings? I know pitchers and catchers have reported, I believe, Jodi, but 73-73. And a quick reminder of the overtime procedures. Each team gets an additional timeout. Fouls carry over, and we'll play 4 minutes. Looking at the numbers, Liv McGill, 34 points, 2 away from a career high. Lauren Hillsheim, 14 points, had 10 in the second half. For St. Michael-Albertville, Jacayla Kraft with 26, Ava House 13, Kale Jonke 20, and Abby Hazelton out of the game. Irma Walker has 4 fouls. Jodi, I'm guessing you've been in your share of overtime games in many sports.
Yeah, double overtime, in fact.
Double
A
overtime.
couple of
I did a
those.
double
Yeah.
overtime game earlier this year. Maybe we get another one. But what will make the difference here? Because we've had something of a stalemate. Hopkins has missed a few gimmies. St. Michael-Albertville, a few free throws didn't go in outside of Crafts. And
You know, STMA's
close the whole game.
STMA's passing game has been so crisp. I think that if they get back to that, the ball movement and trying to make things happen, they'll get the advantage. Hopkins seemed a little bit flagging there in the early part of the second half, but they've come back and man, they were gonna roar into the finish.
Is there enough time to get another Weezer or Happy Days reference in there? Well, how about that? Weezer and the Muppets. Remember Keep Fishing?
There you go.
That was 23 years ago. Hopkins wins the tip-off. Again, a win for Hopkins, and they maintain the front row seat to the #1 seed in Class 4A. A win for St. Michael-Albertville. All bets are off. Drive and kick. Woodson. Hillsheim, nobody
There we
covered
go.
her.
Basketball basics. Just follow the shot.
Kraft for three.
And a big rebound.
Woodson, the runner. Hillsheim, another
Hillsheim.
offensive rebound. Lauren has really upped her game this year. One of those hidden gems. McGill to Walker.
Oh.
Free throws coming. That's on House, her third. Irma Walker has a couple of points, no field goals. Remember, her playing time limited because of foul trouble.
And, you know, between Walker and Williams, a freshman and a sophomore, the future looks pretty bright for Hopkins.
Walker, Williams, Hillsheim, the junior, she'll have another year. Woodson, a junior. Liv McGill, the only senior, so you're going to have a lot of experience for next year's Hopkins team. Walker splits at the line, so it's still a one-possession game. But Hopkins having a little more momentum right now. Kraft rises up for the bucket. Woodson. Offensive foul.
Yeah. Can't charge with your shoulder like that.
And that's the fourth on Tatum Woodson. So she's got 4. Irma Walker has 4.
The defender didn't exactly have position, but you can't lead with your shoulder like that.
Right. It's not just about squaring up.
Yep.
I've seen that many times. You lead with the elbow, the arm.
Yep.
Officials are going to get you. Jonke,
Ooh.
1-point game. Woo.
Oh.
Cox trying to make something out of nothing there. McGill will wait for her teammates to set up.
They need a basket here. Whatever else, they need points out of this possession.
McGill can certainly give it to them. Spin move.
Oh.
Another miss bunny. McGill, she has 34 points, but so many of those layups, those short-range looks. Jonke. What?
Oh, wow. Was she the first one that did that too?
Is that humanly
is that
possible?
2 in the game?
I guess it is possible. How did that go in? Everyone's stunned.
A wing and a prayer and a Jonke, apparently.
But this game not done yet. Hillsheim to the line. The foul on Jonke.
Yep. Still got to finish it. Still got to go to the clock says 0. But wow.
We have seen everything. I've seen balls get wedged on the backboard. I've seen one rest on the cylinder. I've never seen one go off the top of the backboard and in.
Well, and that's so close to being a backboard violation.
Well,
yeah.
or over the board.
Yeah.
Not a violation.
Yeah.
A split for Hillsheim. St. Michael-Albertville's got the ball. We're still on pins and needles. That's an offensive foul on Kraft, her fourth. Jacayla, I think, maybe trying to force the issue a little bit.
Yep.
She's got 4, and you can't afford to lose her.
Nope. Now, there was some yelling about the previous possession's rebound because Hillsheim flung an arm trying to get people out of her face, and that didn't get called. So this game has been definitely wild.
Hillsheim looking for the back door. St. Michael-Albertville will go to the line. And that's it for Walker. So Walker will finish with 3 points. And Jodi, I know they've let some of that contact go over the last few minutes here, but what do you think led officials to make that foul call there?
Well, so anytime someone is, when there's questionable possession of the ball, you have to decide, is one person going to get it, right? And then is anyone else impeding that from happening? And that there was just a little too much contact, I think, for that to go uncalled.
Kaylee Cox making the front end. That was 1-1 for St. Michael-Albertville.
And she struggled from the line tonight, so this is clutch.
Almost. 78-77. 53.9 in overtime. Both teams with 3 timeouts left. Now Hopkins is in the situation that St. Michael-Albertville was in.
Yep.
They cannot hold.
Yep.
Of course, you're down by 1, so you're not going to do that in all likelihood. But they've got to run a set. They've got to look for a bucket. Woodson drills the 3.
Clutch from Woodson from downtown.
Kraft throws it away. Jump ball.
SCMA.
No, Hopkins got the timeout call.
Oh, that's... Wow, that is an amazing presence of mind.
I am not in position to make that claim from here.
I'm not sure.
The officials are talking it over.
Yep.
Depending on who you're rooting for, I think you can gauge what you think about that call. But Hopkins, so many times. This is why they're usually the team. Well, in the last several years, they were the team everyone had to run through.
Right.
Everyone saved their best because they knew Hopkins was the best. This year, they've had to work a little harder to attain that status. Talking to folks in the know, when you say, yeah, Hopkins maybe wasn't the favorite in preseason, they look at you like, really? So they never let that outside talk get to them, but you have to think they heard about it. Everyone was saying, could this be the end of the Hopkins dynasty that we've come to know for so long? It might be the end as far as superstar talents.
Right.
But
the strength of the program,
right.
I think, is very much not in question.
No, and again, I think it speaks to what Tara Starks has done to continue this legacy.
Yes.
Remember, she didn't just get plucked out of nowhere.
Right.
She had a lot of great players when she took over from Brian Cosgriff, but she's been able to continue cultivating it, bringing in some new faces.
And let's just talk about the presence of mind you have to have when everything is going crazy to call a timeout when you're in possession.
And the shot clock is off, so St. Michael-Albertville pretty much has to foul here. And Kraft can't do it with 4. Got a foul. Or not!
Oh.
So St. Michael-Albertville
Has a chance.
They do. A 2 would tie, a 3 would give them the lead. They have 3 timeouts. Kraft. 5. Around McGill. Too strong.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh.
They'll have 0.3 of a second. Enough time for a tip-in. That's it. I don't know if you can get a shot off in time.
Let's see what coach is going to call. 3 seconds. They're putting 3 seconds back on the clock.
I think it's 0.3. Or maybe. Yeah,
they're
3
freaking,
seconds.
okay, there
I
we
was
go.
going to say
right,
3 seconds would have
yeah,
been too much
that was a
time.
lot. Yeah. Okay. Decimals. Decimals are important. Yeah.
Imagine if we were doing this in fractions.
We have 33 1/3 seconds left in the game.
I think I would quit.
There's that 5.1 we were talking about earlier.
So you have, I think in the NBA, if I remember correctly, the minimum amount of time is 0.3 for a jump shot. Anything less, it's a tip in.
Right.
So you've got to get the passing cleanly, and you've got to find somebody who can knock it in.
Right.
STMA had a couple of chances, and how many times
Yep.
have we seen that? You're so close, yet so far. There's still time. They called a full.
Yep.
Both teams didn't need that full allotment, so we've got to wait another 15 seconds.
Oh, do they have to wait for the timeout
When
to
they call a
expire?
full timeout, yes.
Okay. Well, fair. I mean, give everybody a couple extra seconds to catch their breath.
Usually they don't come up with a play this quickly.
Right. Right. Here we go. Oh.
You got to find somebody, and it's
Are
got to
you
be
ready,
a tip-in.
kids? No. No.
Hopkins comes through again.
Man, I know STMA, both their bench and their crowd is going to have some thoughts about the officiating there at the end, but no matter what you want to say, this was 2 teams at the top of their game fighting it to the haymakers to the very end. What a game, Mike.
Hopkins wins 80-78, and if they beat Minnetonka on Friday, they will be undefeated in late conference play. You have to think this win solidifies the #1 overall seed regardless, because they already have that first win. But to go undefeated when folks were thinking maybe this wasn't going to be your best run, that would be a huge boost of confidence and a reminder Hopkins isn't going anywhere.
Well, what a great tradition to continue between these 2 teams. Just some great basketball here tonight.
We'll try to get a word with some of the Hopkins players before we wrap it up. This is high school girls basketball. Hopkins wins 80-78. And we are joined once again by Liv McGill and Tatum Woodson. The last time they were here, it was a runaway win over Wayzata. This time, you had to sweat it out in overtime. Liv, 34 points. You had to scratch and claw for every one of them. With a tight game like this, what does it mean to come through in the end like you did?
It means a lot. You know, we just pushed through at the end. Our defense spoke in overtime, so I just say, yeah, that's all I got to say.
And Tatum gave you the game-winning bucket. Tatum, how many times have you practiced that, and how confident were you when you got that look that it would put Hopkins in front for the final time?
Well, I give it all to God. I mean, I don't practice those shots at all. You know, I knew my teammates had my back if I missed the shot, so, you know, I just said, forget it. Let me take this real quick.
It's a gutsy call. Of course, any call like that is when you're down by one. What do you think has helped you through the years to grind out these tight games where it's back and forth?
I mean, you just heard it. You said yourself. She had 34 points. So, you know, we have that cushion. Having her on the floor is that cushion for our team and gives us a boost of confidence. So in these tight situations, we know that she got our backs. So we performed like we needed to in that tight situation.
And Liv, I know this is just the second of possibly 3 meetings, but after a year ago where you tried to get back and just ran out of time, what do you think it says about the competence and the ability for this team to fight off a close battle like you did and come out on top?
Yeah, for sure. Last year we fell short, so, you know, that's always in the back of my head personally. And, you know, we have one goal, so we're trying to win state. Whoever's in our way, we're just trying to win the game and go on to the next. So it was good that we pushed through, and, yeah.
And speaking of that defense, getting that ball and calling timeout before the jump ball signal, and then I saw you and Jacayla got assigned to each other. You both were able to get some plays. I know the two of you have a deep connection going back to Metro Stars. How does playing alongside someone like her, how do you think that elevates the two of you? Because I saw a lot of great plays from both of you tonight.
Yeah, you know, we just build off each other in the summer. We build off each other in the summertime, and, you know, we're competitors when we go on the floor in winter season. So, yeah.
I say I got a couple of blocks, too. You got one, she got one. So how is that post-game talk going to be?
I ain't even talked to her yet. I don't know yet. She just walked away over there. She don't want to talk to me.
Well, I have a feeling the two of you will share a laugh about this in due time. And Tatum, you spent a lot of time learning from folks like Liv and Nunu and your big sister. So to get a taste of that, how do you think that can help elevate your game?
I'm grateful for everything, you know. Coming into this game, we expected to destroy them. But, I mean, we didn't perform like we wanted to in the first half. So the second half, we really had to turn on the Jets, which, as you can see, we succeeded. But this is just the beginning, and, you know, I'm grateful for it all.
One more win and you would sweep the Lake Conference, go undefeated. I don't know how many goals you had set, but to do that when folks had perhaps underestimated you, as you pointed out to me, Liv, at the start of the season, I know that's not the end game, but a perfect Lake Conference record, what do you think that would say about how much Hopkins has been able to retool and stay competitive?
Yeah, it shows a lot about us. You know, we just stuck together. A lot of people doubted us, and, you know, if you're on the outside, we just keep the outside on the outside, you know. It's all within, and we believe in each other. We believe in our staff, so that's all that matters. And our goal is to go undefeated. We have one more goal, so that's Friday.
What about you, Tatum?
Exactly what she said.
Well, like you said, Liv's got your back in more ways than one. Before we go, do you want to say hi to anybody?
I do not.
Me either.
I think we were here on Thursday. You probably covered everyone around then, but I'm sure they're grateful for the time, everyone who supports you. And I think you all aged the rest of us by a year or two, but congrats on the win. Go rest up, and good luck Friday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Liv McGill and Tatum Woodson, that wraps up our coverage here from the Royals Athletic Center. For the rest of our crew, I'm Mike Peden. Thanks for watching.